there are other funding sources, including private foundations. Their award amounts tend to be much smaller and pay much smaller indirects. So we can do less because of the direct costs that are provided, and the university has less financial support for the research because of the lower indirects. Just to note, the indirects that come to the universities from the federal government are in part because the federal government often doesn't maintain its own research labs. So they're sending monies to support the ecosystem that makes the research possible, and it wouldn't be possible in part because of those indirects. So there are other funding sources, including private foundations, but you're just not going to see the research at the scale that would occur. And the last thing I'll say, just to keep the remarks brief, is there are some research projects that private foundations are not able to support. And so I'm most familiar with the data collection that the Department of Education does. There just are not enough private foundation dollars to support data collection at the scale that the federal government is able to provide. And those data collection efforts benefit us. We're able to do research on that data collection that supports our infrastructure of students and postdocs and research scientists, but more importantly, informs the public about pressing problems that we can help them better address through evidence-based policymaking. Okay, that's a good question. The cuts are happening so quickly and so indiscriminately that it's difficult to plan. And also, it's unclear how this will continue. So, for example, if for the Institute of Education and Science of the U.S. Department of Education, everyone's been fired. Pretty much everyone's been fired. Probably 90% of the staff or so, including these are people who are being fired for a cause who are outstanding employees. I know from personal experience. So you'll hear some reporting that, okay, we're going to rebid contracts, or we're going to reconstitute the agency. As far as I know, there are no real plans to do that. So the data will be lost, even though substantial taxpayer investments have already been made. The taxpayers will have no benefit from those outlays in terms of findings. And the agency, I think, is likely, from my perspective, is likely to die in essence. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm starting to ramble. But anyway, is that helpful? Okay.